Welcome back to the Beatrice YouTube channel. Today's class will be learning how to make these beautiful triangular skirts. Okay, it's a very simple skirt to make and it's beginner friendly. You don't need too much measurement to make this. If this is something you like to learn, kindly stay tuned to the end of this tutorial. Thank you. Okay, so this is actually a requested tutorial. So to make this, you need some measurements. You don't need too much for this. It's very simple to make. So you need the round waist measurement. That's 28 inches for me with allowance, because you need to add a zipper to this if you want to wear it easily. So with my allowance, I have 28 inches. The actual waist measurement is 26 plus 2 inches. I have 28 inches here. And then the skirt length, okay, that's how long you want your skirt to be. So this is a triangular skirt, so it has like a triangular shape at the front area, which means this is the center front and these are the two sides. So from this picture now, you can see that the center front and center back is going to be longer than what we have on the sides, which are these two short parts. Okay, so the shortest part, that's the length for this side, is 18 inches. So now for the front, I'm just going to be adding maybe between 5 to 8 inches to this. Okay, so now let's say I'm adding 7 inches to this, then it's going to give me around 25 inches. So which means the skirt length for my front, that's the longest, is going to be 25 inches. Okay, so now I'm going to be folding this in front of a 360-degree flare, and then I'm going to be working with this skirt length of the longest one to get my actual mesh to fold my fabric. So now, to get for a full 360-degree flare, to get your radius, you need to divide your circumference by 6.28 by 6.28. The circumference in this case is where we're placing the skirt, and that's 28 inches. So 28 inches divided by 6.28 is going to give me around 4.5 inches approximately. Okay, so now my radius becomes 4.5 inches. So now, and the length of my skirt, like I said, we need to work with the longest part. So the length of my skirt is 25 inches. So to know the amount of fabric I'm going to fold with, I need to add this 25 inches. That's the skirt length for the longest, that's the center part, which is the longest part of my skirt, plus my radius. So 25 plus 4.5 is going to give me around 29.5 inches. So I'm going to just approximate that to 30 inches, and that is how I'm going to fold my fabric. Okay, so now I'm going to fold my fabric into two first, like this. Then after folding into two, I'm going to fold into four, like this. But folding this now, I have to make sure that one part, okay, remember I have this side and this side, so this longest part here, you're going to be folding it by the yard, because remember this is Ankara fabric, and Ankara fabric is by 45 inches. So let's assume this is our 45 inches and this is the yard. This yard can be as long as you want, 2 yards, 3 yards, 4 yards, or thereabouts. So now you're going to fold by the length first before you fold by the yard. So now when folding by the yard, remember we're folding with our longest measurement, which is 25 inch, which is 29.5, approximately 30. So after folding this, you make sure that you have up to 30 inches, which means before you fold it, you have 60 inches. Okay, and 60 inches is around 1 yard, 1.5 yard, or almost 2 yards, because 2 yards is 72 inches, so it's not even up to 2 yards. So you need around 2 yards for this skirt basically. So now I have folded my fabric just like this. I folded it into two first, and then I folded it into four, and this part being my edge point. So let me raise this. Okay, so now this is my apex, but the first measurement I'll be taking now is my radius measurement, which is 4.5 inches. So between my tape measure, I'm going to put it at this apex. Okay, so that's this part where all these lines meet here. I'm going to measure 4.5 inches round. Okay, so I'm doing this step by step in case we have a beginner, because this is actually a requested video, so I'm just going to take my time. We have 4.5 inches, so from this apex now I'm measuring 4.5 inches all the way around like this. Okay, and then I'm going to connect all that together. I hope you can see this. So what I have done in the paper is just from my apex point now. I'll measure 4.5 inches all round from here, and then I'm going to connect it like this. So this is my radius. Okay, so now the next measurement I'm going to take now is my length measurement. So here my long length is 25 inches. So from this radius now I'm going to measure 25 inches all the way down like this. So I have 25 inches here. I'm just going to mark that point, and then on this side, so this side is going to be my center front and my center back. Remember, they are all fold points, there's no open point here, so it's folded. So this side is going to be my center front and my center back, and this side, this short side. Okay, so now this side is going to be my center front and my center back, which is the longest, and this short side now is going to be my side, which is the shortest. Okay, so now after measuring 4.5, so let me place it like this because my fabric is placed like this. After measuring 4.5 inches here, I'm going to measure from here 25 inches. That's for the longest part of the skirt, and then from here I'm going to measure 18 inches. That's for the short part of the skirt, because the length for the short part is actually 18 inches. So now from there I'm going to measure 18 inches from my radius for the short. Okay, so from here now I have 18 inches. I hope you can see this. I have 18 inches, so I'm just going to stop it around there. So now the next measurement I need to the next thing I need to do now is to connect from the long one to the short one using my diagonal ruler. So this now depends on the shape you want at the end of the day. If you don't want it too sharp, you can just make it into like a curve. Okay, but if you don't mind this being I want it to be really triangle, a bit pointed. So if I don't like it, I can reshape it. So for me, for now, I'm just going to connect it with a sharp straight line like this. Okay, so I'm connecting it like this. Then after connecting it, I'll take my ruler, my scissors now, and cut it out. Okay, and then also cut out my radius. Okay, so what I have done now, I'll do it on my fabric. I'll connect from this 25 inches mark to this 18 inches mark diagonally like that, and then I'm going to cut it out. So I've connected my markings now, and using my fabric scissors I'm just going to cut this out. So now if your fabric is not enough, remember we are using an Ankara fabric which is 45 inches. So if the length you want for your short part is more than 18 inches, what you need to do now is to join to your fabric on this hemline so that you have something longer to work with. But if you are using a fabric that is around 60 inches in length, you're not going to be having that kind of problem. So now here I'm going to cut out my radius. And once I cut out my radius, this is what I'm going to have. So if I open it up now, you can notch this part as your center front and center back. So now, and I open it, this is what I'm going to have. So you can see the shape that I have here. Like I said, I want it pointed, so you can see how pointed my triangle is. If you don't want it this pointed, when you are connecting it, instead of just drafting it sharp like this, you just make it a bit curvy. Okay, so what I was saying is, if you don't want it that sharp, instead of connecting it like this, you can just make it slightly curved. Okay, as against this sharp line that we have there, just slightly curve it. But this is what I want, and I'm okay with it. So now to accommodate my zipper, I'm just going to open it on one end of the long part, and that becomes my center back. So here now I'll open it here, and then I'm going to sew it up to here now, and then I'll fix my zipper. So on the upper part here, you just cut a band using your actual measurements, and then you sew in your band, and your skirt is ready. So now I'm just going to put this up on the mannequin so that we can see what it looks like. So the band is fixed now, and this is what the skirt is looking like. So you can see the triangular shape that we have in front, and then you can see the shape that we have on this side. So it can be as short as you want, and I already explained in the video if you want this longer how you can add to it. So I hope you enjoyed making this simple tutorial with me. If you enjoyed it, let us know in the comment section. Like, comment and subscribe to our channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.